I'm going to give you a run-through of the privacy readings also dealing with big data. This is a reading source I've gotten from the web, and it's very contemporary. Of course, the first thing you would do is get into the course website, csc208.getclass.info. Here, you're going to go to the readings, discussions, and exercises. And let's go down to this entry, Big Data and Privacy Reading. Now you'll notice there's also going to be a link here to this video I'm now creating. For the moment, only this exists, and I'm going to focus on it. When I click on it, I wind up viewing this page from a government site. If you wanted to go here, you could, but I'm not suggesting you do that. Instead, what you want to do is just save this download. And I happen to have a folder named Downloads. When I click on this, it's going to come down there. And now I could go to that folder and find this. The reason I'm doing that is the PDF reader from Adobe does a much better job of giving you access to this document. Here's that document in the reader, and this is what I wanted to show you. You may not be familiar with this way of accessing a document using the PDF reader. If you go to View and you go to Page Display, you can click Two-Page View. Then go back into it to Page Display. You've got Two-Page View already clicked. Make sure that you've clicked this one, Show Cover Page in Two-Page View. When you do that, anything that you look at, like such as one of the course workbooks in PDF form or this document, the first page will show as a cover, and then as you move through it with the right arrow key, it'll show up in 2 pages, just as if you opened a printed book and you started going through it. Now, I'm just doing this right now to show you what the content of this document is that you're downloading. Let me go back to the beginning just so I can explain it. Here's this cover page which I've constructed from pictures of the website where I found this information. That's just so that you have a cover sheet to look at. These next 2 pages are the summary that you can access from that website. Read this summary. It's just pages, actually I've numbered them as pages 2 and 3 of this consolidated document. It's messy here because my page number that I've applied has overlaid what was already there on this document. That's just for the first 2 pages. Once you read the summary, move forward, and starting here on page 4 of this consolidated document, this is the actual large government report that I'd like you to read. The summary will just make sense of it for you, almost like a table of contents, but it's really kind of an executive summary. If you move forward, here is this cover page of the report, and you'll see some prominent people named here who were in charge of the task force to come up with this study within a 90-day period. And here is the actual table of contents for the full report itself. Notice it has an appendix, and we'll explore that in just a second. Finally, on extract page 10, you start seeing the report itself, and I think it's rather nicely done, and it does have hyperlinks in here if you wanted to explore anything further. Notice also that it happens to be similar to the format I've suggested for you for your ethical analysis essays. In other words, footnotes and footnotes at the bottom of the page with active hyperlinks. This actually doesn't have a bibliography, so they've put every one of the references down here. Now that's a little bit different than I'm asking you to do. You will have a bibliography. If this report had been done in the form I'm suggesting, these notes would be a lot more compact, and any references to the item would refer to a bibliography. In that way, we wouldn't have repeated URLs for citations that are coming from the same source. Let's just continue through this very quickly. I just want to show you what's going on, and I'm going to flip through this really quickly, not expecting to explain anything about it. You'll pick it up when you read it. Here's the appendix. It's not necessary for you to read this, but I thought I would show you what a task force many times consists of and how it's documented, since the assignments I'm giving you, at least the first one, referred to a task force set up to study something. This is a much more formal way that a task force is organized. The methodology is described, meetings and where they took place. That's to lend credibility to the findings. And you see quite a bit of talk was done about this. And these various academic types of events were held also to explore this topic. The fact that this report is documented in this way lends a lot of credibility to it. It's not just somebody's opinion, but it's an awful lot of knowledgeable people getting together to study this issue. And finally, there's a bit of a summary here as to a survey of what the public felt about these issues. Not that the public necessarily was well informed, but just simply to add that dimension to the consideration of the issue at hand. This package I've given you in this form to make it more convenient for you to get it. You can download it as a PDF, and that's what I suggest that you do, and then read it on whatever device you choose to read it on. It reads well on tablet computers, any device that can display for you the contents of a PDF, or obviously you can read it on a computer. However, this two-page view is not particularly good for reading it on a computer. You might find this full screen mode handy if this makes it large enough for you to conveniently read, although it still might not be. Perhaps the body of the report would be readable in that form. Your only other choice, I'll press Escape to get out of this, is to view it in the normal page display mode, which is to enable scrolling, and then to make it large enough to conveniently read. And if I were reading it on a computer, this is how I would do it. In any case, I just wanted to give you an overview of this so you understand how to go about reading this. We'll be talking about this in one of the last class sessions. This doesn't necessarily enter into your determinations of ethical analysis. It's one of these topics I reserved until the end of the term so that we would have some time to consider these things kind of in the background as a part of ethics in technology.